The moment the words Taylor Swift texts Unsealed started circulating, the internet froze. Not scrolled, not skimmed, frozen. Because this wasn't about chart battles or red carpet drama. This was about loyalty, influence, and what happens when private friendships collide with public lawsuits. And the biggest question echoing through pop culture right now is this: did Taylor Swift quietly walk away from Blake Lively when things got dangerous? Or was she pushed out? Because when texts leak, context matters, tone matters, timing matters, and in this case, every word might reveal why one of Hollywood's most famous friendships suddenly fractured. A friendship that once looked unbreakable for years. Taylor Swift and Blake Lively represented a Hollywood friendship people envy. No competition, no jealousy, no public cracks. They vacationed together. They celebrated personal milestones. They protected each other from tabloids and PR disasters. Blake wasn't just a celebrity friend. She was in Taylor's inner circle. Someone Taylor trusted with personal advice, professional guidance, and yes, even legal nuances. Which is why the idea that their friendship fractured, not slowly but abruptly, feels so jarring. Because friendships like that don't usually end quietly. They end when something goes wrong, when trust is questioned, or when legal and public pressures collide in ways no one expects. The courtroom, whisper that changed the story. While cameras focused on the courtroom drama, whispers circulated off-screen, journalists in line, sources murmuring, text messages being mentioned that weren't part of the original narrative. Suddenly, the story shifted from celebrity fallout to something far heavier: legal exposure, witness implications, and the word no one wants attached to Taylor Swift: hostile. And that's what makes these unsealed texts so fascinating. They're not just emotional, they're almost legal documents. They could technically be used as evidence, or at least inform a narrative that could shape public perception. The text before the meeting, a power move or a favor? The first text that raised eyebrows wasn't aggressive, it was strategic. Blake asked Taylor to help influence a director, not publicly, but quietly. Praise the script, echo enthusiasm, give credit. On paper, it reads like a favor between friends. But in hindsight, it raises a more uncomfortable question. Was Taylor being placed into a situation she didn't fully understand? Because once your words influence creative decisions, once your presence changes a power dynamic, you're no longer just a friend, you're a participant. And Hollywood friendships, when mixed with professional influence, can become a minefield. The after-meeting texts. Praise that feels too loud. After the meeting, Blake's messages exploded with intensity. Heroic, lottery-winning friendship, world's greatest ally. Taylor's replies, however, were short, affectionate, but restrained. That contrast matters, because when one person floods the conversation while the other barely surfaces, it often signals imbalance, not closeness, pressure. Fans reading these texts weren't just analyzing friendship dynamics, they were trying to understand how celebrity relationships handle boundaries when legal drama enters the mix. The moment that made people uncomfortable, then came the line that stopped people cold. The tiny violin reference. Not sarcastic banter, not a joke in isolation, but a reaction to someone discussing past trauma. Context changes everything, and suddenly fans weren't arguing about sides anymore. They were asking who knew what and when, because this text revealed Taylor's inner conflict. She felt caught between being supportive and being personally cautious. She didn't respond with anger, but neither did she completely embrace the situation. The shift, when friendships started sounding corporate. The real fracture didn't happen in anger, it happened in exhaustion. Taylor's message is calm, measured, painfully honest. She says she feels distance, that the texts feel like press releases, that she misses her friend, not the we, not the team, not the lawyers. That line cuts deep because it suggests something critical. Taylor didn't feel like she was talking to Blake anymore. She felt like she was talking to a machine. And when one friend starts communicating like a corporation and the other like a human being, the connection phrase, digital paranoia and the fear of being seen. Blake's response explains a lot and exposes even more. She admits fear, paranoia, the belief that every text could become evidence. And once you start texting like you're already on trial, the relationship changes. Trust doesn't survive surveillance. Every sentence becomes defensive. Every emotion gets packaged. Every joke dies. This wasn't just a friendship drifting apart. It was a friendship lawyered to death. The moment Taylor pulled back, there's a point where Taylor stops engaging deeply. She's polite, she's loving, but she's clearly creating space, not ghosting, not attacking, just stepping away. And that's where the speculation begins. Was she protecting herself, her brand, her legal exposure, or was she realizing she'd been pulled too close to something she never agreed to stand trial for? Because walking away quietly doesn't mean abandoning loyalty, it often means self-preservation. The TMZ report that made it worse. Then TMZ entered the chat. Reports suggested Taylor didn't know a meeting was happening, that she was surprised, that she felt mischaracterized afterward, and the word dragon lingered in the air like smoke, because calling a friend a weapon, even metaphorically, changes how the world sees that friend, especially in court. Fans and journalists began debating, did Taylor misstep, or did Blake mischaracterize events? And suddenly the story wasn't just about friendship, it was about narrative control in Hollywood. Who gets to tell the story, and who gets left out? The hostile witness rumor, then came the nuclear phrase, hostile witness. For a moment it looked real, too real, until it wasn't. The report shifted, sources changed, language softened. But here's the thing about legal stories, even rumors leave scars. Whether Taylor ever takes the stand or not, her texts already did. They show intent, personality, and the subtle way she responded to pressure. And in a celebrity trial, that's everything. Why Taylor distanced herself, the real possibility. This doesn't look like betrayal, it looks like boundaries arriving late, but firmly. Taylor didn't explode, she didn't leak, she didn't clap back, she disengaged. And in celebrity culture, that's often the loudest message of all, because sometimes stepping back is the only way to survive without becoming a story yourself. Blame, bias, and why this story is so messy. There are no clean villains here, only people reacting under pressure. Blake sounded scared, Taylor sounded tired, everyone sounded guarded, and when fear enters a friendship, honesty usually exits first. Misunderstandings grow, and the outside world misreads silence as complicity. Hollywood magnifies every crack, and suddenly, texts that were private become public evidence of tension, even when intentions were good. What this really says about power in Hollywood, this isn't just about texts, it's about how quickly personal relationships become strategic assets, how celebrities are expected to show loyalty even when silence might be safer, and how saying nothing can still be interpreted as choosing a side. It's a lesson about public perception, about power, about how fame can warp even the most sincere friendships. Because in this world, your private messages aren't just private, they're data points, evidence, and sometimes they're weapons. So, will Taylor ever speak? Probably not, and she doesn't have to, because in a world where everything is documented, sometimes the loudest truth is what isn't said. Taylor didn't burn the bridge, she simply stopped crossing it, and in the end, that might have been the smartest move. This was never just a breakup. This wasn't friendship drama, it was a collision between fame, fear, and the cost of proximity to controversy. The lesson is uncomfortable but clear. Not every friendship ends in anger, some end in survival. Taylor Swift didn't walk away because she hated Blake. She walked away because she needed to protect herself in a world where texts can end up in court and friendships can be weaponized. It's a reality check for fans, journalists, and Hollywood insiders alike. Loyalty doesn't always survive pressure, fame, or legal drama. Sometimes survival comes first. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, hit like. If you want more deep dive celebrity truth without the fluff, subscribe to InsideCelebx and comment below. Do you think Taylor walked away too early, or exactly when she needed to? Because in Hollywood, timing isn't just everything, it's protection.